right, these are our last set of Lesson 1 notes. Unit 1, Lesson 1, the last bit. There's only 3 slides. There's not very much to learn. You're not going to have to write down very much at all, but it is important for the quiz you're going to take. So I'm posting with this slide your quiz as well. So the quiz that I posted, this stuff is important for the quiz. Okay, so if you are introducing someone to someone else in French, there's a very specific phrase that you use. And that phrase, you can see it in bold here, is je te présente. Je te présente. Okay, so I present to you mon copain Marc. Okay, so here we can see Jean-Paul says, Zoé, je te présente mon copain Marc. Zoe, I am presenting to you my friend Marc. And then they just say hello. Bonjour, bonjour. So this is how you would introduce someone in a casual setting, right? So if you were introducing a friend to another friend, or like people your age, or mostly just people your age. Okay? Now, if you want to introduce someone to an authority figure, like if you wanted to introduce a friend to me, you would say, je voudrais vous présenter. Okay, so a little longer and more formal. So je voudrais, you know from French 1, I would like. So I would like to present, okay, we've got the infinitive here, to you, like you formal, ma cousine Zoé. Monsieur Vidal, je voudrais vous présenter ma cousine Zoé. Je voudrais vous présenter. So if you hear either, if you hear présenter or présente, know that it's an introduction happening. Okay, and then the response to that in a more formal setting is enchanté. Enchanté just means like charmed, or nice to meet you, or I'm enchanted. It means enchanted, but it functions as nice to meet you. And it just has to agree with the gender of the subject, so for Zoé, it's got an extra E, enchanté, with an extra E. All right, and one last thing. So those are presentations. It's how you present someone to another person, introduce someone to another person. And the last little thing is just a short little blip on phone etiquette. Same as the introductions, this is also important for your quiz. It's important for the listening in the fill in the blank. Okay, so this one's longer, so I am sorry because I have to read both parts. Have a mustache that I will be putting on to read Monsieur Duval, to read his parts. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to go through the dialogue, and you're going to listen, see if you can parse what's going on, and then I will go through and explain. So, Michel Legrand téléphone à sa copine Christine Duval. C'est le père de Christine qui répond. Allô? Allô, bonjour monsieur, ici Michel Legrand. Bonjour Michel. Est-ce que je pourrais parler à Christine? Oui, bien sûr. Un instant, ne quittez pas. Si Christine n'est pas là, je suis désolée. Christine n'est pas à la maison. Alors, je rappellerai plus tard. D'accord. Au revoir, Michel. Au revoir, monsieur. Okay, I recognize that was silly, but I'm not really sure how else to make it clear who is speaking. So let's go through what they said. Michel Legrand téléphone à sa copine Christine Duval. C'est le père de Christine qui répond. Okay, so this child, Michel, Michael, is calling his friend Christine, but Christine's father answers the phone. And he says, Allô? So in French, allô is the normal way to answer a telephone. They don't generally answer with bonjour. They say allô. Michel says, allô? Hello, sir. Ici Michel Legrand. You know ici from probably taking roll last year. Ici just means here. So here's Michel Legrand. It's me, Michael. He says hello. Then here, est-ce que je pourrais parler à Christine? Could I speak to Christine? Could I speak to Christine? So this is just the polite way to ask someone on the phone if you can speak to someone else. Je pourrais parler. Could I speak to Christine? He says, yes, of course. One instant, one moment. Ne quittez pas. Ne quittez pas means don't go. Like, hold on. Hold on just a second. Don't leave. Okay? So the two things from this section you should be writing down is je pourrais parler, could I speak to, or could I speak? And then ne quittez pas, which means don't go, hold on just a second. Any of those. Okay, and then the next section, si Christine n'est pas là, if Christine is not there. So if Michel calls, but Christine's not at the house, then Monsieur Duval might say, je suis désolé. Désolé. You probably know this from French 1. Je suis désolé means I'm sorry. Désolé is sorry. It's an adjective, so if the subject is feminine, then it'll get an extra E. I'm sorry, Christine n'est pas à la maison. Christine's not at the house. Michel says, alors, je rappellerai plus tard. I'm like, okay, I will call back later. I will try again. I'll call back later. Monsieur Duval, d'accord, au revoir, Michel. Okay, bye, Michel. And Michel says, au revoir, monsieur. Bye, sir. So just these bold parts are the important ones for your quiz. And then just some cultural notes, like allô. All right, that is it, but I do want to look really quickly at the questions personnelles that I posted in Google Classroom, because some of you, many of you, think that using translation software is going to get you correct answers, and I just want to go ahead and say that it won't. So let's look at these. Because a lot of you are saying a bunch of nonsense that is, one, wrong, and two, you wouldn't know how to say in the first place. The purpose of these kinds of questions, they are hard, they're a little difficult on purpose, but you can look in the question to find the answer. You don't need to translate your English answer into French because it almost never makes any sense. So, I'm going to show you how to do that. So this first question, most of you did okay here. Est-ce que tu es enfant unique? Are you an only child? Okay? So if yes, you would say, je suis enfant unique. You can see that's exactly the same structure as the question. You're just changing tu es to je suis. If you're not an only child, you know how to negate verbs. You know how to make verbs negative. You put ne pas around the verb. So you would say, je ne suis pas enfant unique. Okay? Here you all did some weird things, and I understand why. So, est-ce que tu as des frères et des sœurs? Alright, so if you have brothers and sisters, all you have to do, j'ai, I have, right? That's just tu as, you have. J'ai, I have. So, j'ai, and then you just say the number of brothers and sisters you have. So, j'ai deux frères, and you'll have the accent mark. Or however many sisters, whatever combination. If you don't have any siblings, you would just negate the verb, which you know how to do, once again. So, je n'ai pas de frères. I don't have any brothers or sisters. Simple as that. And that also answers combien, right? So the number, how many. And then, comment s'appelle-t-il, or tel, comment s'appelle-t-elle? This is just, what are their names? Some of you said this, leurs noms sont, their names are. Why would you say that? One, it's wrong. Nom means last name. Also, this is incredibly awkward in French, and it's just not how they say it. You know how to say their names are. It's right here in the question. So it's inverted, so you just have to flip it back. Ils s'appellent, their names are, and then whatever their names are, Michel, Franck. Michael and Frank, those are their names. Some of you are working too hard. It is easier than you think. You are going to make less mistakes just looking at the question and using your brain and what you've already learned. Same thing here. Comment s'appelle ton meilleur copain? A lot of you wrote like son nom est. It's not correct. Once again, the verb you need is in the question. Il s'appelle, his name is, or elle s'appelle, her name is. If I can spell, etc. And then for the second part, we learned this, plus jeune, younger, plus âgé, older. We learned that. All you have to do, so here you can see the subject is tu, the verb is est, which is être. So you just say je suis, I am. And then if you are older, you would put plus âgé. If you're younger, you'll put plus jeune. Je suis plus jeune. And then que lui means than him. If you're talking about a girl, you would say que elle, qu'elle. I am younger than her, or I am younger que lui, I'm younger than him. That's it. Same thing here. A lot of you, I can always tell because what you end up writing is ils vivent, which one is not a verb you know, and two is incorrect. So, do you have cousins? Sure, whatever your answer is. Most of you got that right. It's just yes or no. Yes, I have cousins. No, I don't. But the question, do they live close? This tripped a lot of you up, and your answer is right here. All you had to say is ils habitent, they live. That's right there in the question, subject, verb, they live. And then if they live close, you just keep going. Près d'ici, ils habitent près d'ici, they live near here. If they don't live near here, all you have to do is negate the verb. Ils n'habitent pas près d'ici. That's all you have to do. You're working too hard. You're going to get questions wrong. I want to nip this in the bud before you take this quiz because it means you're going to get your paragraph section wrong. So, end of notes. I'm going to post maybe one other practice for you and a quiz prep video that goes with that practice. And then you've got your quiz. And that's lesson 1 of unit 1. I hope you're having a good week. I hope you're not too stressed out about French, because it's not that big a deal. It's not a big enough deal to have to use Google Translate, promise. I will see you another time. Farewell.